I'm here with my colleague, friend, and investor, Sam Falsafi. Sam delivers certain things to my life, which I cannot do without. As you listen to him and hear some of the things that he's capable of, I turn to Sam for certainty. Whenever I feel like I am wobbling in the way that I present something, the story is good, the narrative arc is good, the structure is good, and then I flub the landing, I always turn to Sam because he helps me tap into a certainty. So I don't feel like I'm acting needy. So I don't feel like I am asking people for permission. So I don't feel like I myself am uncertain. Sam gives that to me, and he lets me tap into that energy that he has. I don't want to make this sound like a hot yoga class with that Ayurvedic, energetic vibrations. Energy is energy, and Sam has the energy of certainty, as you're going to see here. We just had a big event here I want to tell you guys a little bit about, not in the way that you think about it. So we've been planning this event for a month, Sam. 120 fund managers coming here on location to West Coast Finance, my headquarters in Carlsbad. This is a big deal. More than $500 million of capital coming into the room. Normally, we got 10,000 square feet here. On a given day, there will be in the room, I would say, about zero. So having $500 million come in a single day is what we built up to, and that was important. As things that are important to you may not be that necessarily important to your family. So your family is just living their lives, and they just expect you to be a dad, a wife, a friend, ATM machine, whatever it is that the expectations are in your house. And you're trying to explain to them how important something is in your life. 120-person event, $500 million. But for my 10-year-old son, these are abstract numbers. For my wife, she's got her day-to-day stuff to do to make sure that we're hitting our household goals, and she feels she's on track to that, and none of this really has any meaning. But for me, I wouldn't say frenetic or anxious, but you're trying to manage your clock, get to your event on time, look good, and everything like that. So I'm leaving the house, cannot find my phone. So no big deal, I put my phone down. Like I'm talking, I put it on the weirdest places. I'm like, why did I put my phone inside the Listerine bottle? Why did I take my phone and put it in the garden, the same garden I haven't been into in the last 3 months? I put that on my phone when I'm talking in the weirdest places because now you're disconnected from your phone, right? You have your headset and you're walking around, you put your phone down and you could still be on the headset and you're like, where did I put the phone? I cannot find the fucking phone. But I need it. There's 120 people here, have a phone number, the organizers, the event, the post-event dinner. I cannot suddenly do $500 million of business from my watch. All right, I can't find my phone. So I open my laptop and I do find phone, right? It makes it beep. No beeping. I'm like, fuck, where did I put, it beeps in the way, you can usually hear it somewhere. I'm like, I'm losing my hearing because I don't hear that thing anywhere.
Area 51.
So then I see something blinking out of the corner of my eye, right? I ignore it, but it blinks again, and it's my wife's phone. And it's me calling my wife's phone, which I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? This makes no sense. I need to be at the event speaking to 120 people about something that I need, which is $50 million, not being confused by Area 51 phones. Of course, on the morning of the event, she took Asher to school she picked up my phone on the way out the door.
Switch phones.
The switch. Seinfeld, they had the roommate switch.
Yeah.
This is the phone. What is going on? Before we get into, and we're going to talk about pitch anything and sales and revenue here in a second. But Sam, what is going on when this happens? This self-sabotage point?
I think it's a reminder. I think it's a reminder what matters at the end. If I want to look at it as a perspective, is at the end of the day, 120 deals, 120. $500 million, all the great stuff that you and I go after, at the end of the day, it's just a reminder of what matters, right? The most important person in your life, and that's your precious wife and your son. So it's just a reminder, because I'm sure you were stressed the night before, organized, busy, anxiety, whatever you might want to call it. Or maybe you slept really well and you woke up ready to go and run this thing. Whatever the structure was, it was just a little bit of time, to slow down and appreciate her. And the phone did a pretty good job.
Yeah, forced me into saying, I love you. Thank you for bringing me my phone back. So that was good for sure on the event. And then I think the other thing that happened before we get into some sales structures, the other thing happened is people ask me over the last 3 or 4 days, like, how are you doing?
Yep.
And my answer is, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Right?
No,
I have.
That's why I didn't ask you anything.
So what happens when you get yourselves into a sales situation, when you get yourself into a structure where there's so much coming together,
Yep.
so much organization, so much, I would say, eustress, positive stress, so much opportunity and so much risk, all in a 3-day period in which you have, I don't want to put everything on the line, but if you work for a month for an event that needs to have a serious outcome and you
Correct.
roll a donut hole, that is very problematic. So you're putting everything into it. How problematic is that answer where people go, how are you? I like to be transparent and not make up answers because then I have to look over my shoulder and remember what I told people about everything. But my answer is it doesn't matter.
Well, it does matter, but it's you provide the salesman, right? As a sales guy, right? The job is done. Well, it doesn't matter how you feel. You're supposed to do that. You're supposed to put those 3 days. That's your job, right? You're supposed to drive revenue in those 3 days and have an outcome and meet the outcome and exceed it and be tired and excited and all those things. That's what you're supposed to do. That's the job you sign up. Don't forget, if you are paid X amount of dollars from an organization, corporation, a partnership, and you're the sales guy, you are the production guy. You have to be productive. You are not the entertainment guy. You are not the guy that's going to run this 3 days event where the outcome was people had some great time. We established our brand, and then you walk away and you go play golf. You are supposed to put money in the bag if you're the sales guy. So I didn't call you because you did the job.
Thank you,
and
sir.
I knew you were happy.
Thank you, sir. On that note, I feel like when I look back at my career, I always gravitated to being on the front line.
Yeah.
Where the revenue is required, the capital raising required, the sales are required.
The ask is required.
The ask is required. And I reflected, like, why do I always run? So there's people who make money from the back in logistics. There's people who make money in the decision making, right? So the salespeople report up to them and they make CEO. There's people that make money in product development and invention. So when I look at those positions, and you as well, you could get into any in your organization or any of the hundreds of people we know. We could go make similar, maybe more amount of money in the invention, in R&D, in copywriting, in presenting the sales material, but not being responsible for P&L, and just management. The reason I always go back to the front lines between the customer and the product, and me being the connection point, is control. Yeah. I know as long as I can always live in that gray area and produce, my family will never lack, I will never lack, and the business can keep going forward. Yeah. Where things get dicey is when you run out of capital. Direct
item that is proportional to that is time, right? So when you are in control, you're in control of the time frame. Promises can be made on an Excel sheet. Promises can be made verbally. Intentions could be set. Commitment could be given. But unless it's capitalized within a time frame, it doesn't mean anything. You know this. I know this. And where most people fall in and slap their face on the ground is this idea of not managing expectation within a time frame or putting false hope in a bigger time frame. Deals go south. I've seen companies broken. I've seen individual broken just because they thought they had time. This right now, right? If you look at June right now, we're right in the middle of the year. If you have like a pin and you put it right in the center of this year, we're in, right?
So I'm happy to post this, but I have a couple spreadsheets that are the entire year, cell by cell, but they're printable. So I print them on a long piece of paper.
Yeah.
Right. And this is a long piece of paper, and then I glue and stick them together, and then I just go, okay, today, red or green. And then it just gives me perspective on the whole year and see what I got numbers on it. In a serial killer movie, by the way, just for compliance, I'm not a serial killer, or I've never been one, not aspiring to be one. Like on Homeland, they break in to the plotter, the bomb plotters thing, and he's got like this red yarn, and he's got all these dates and timelines and red circles and everything. That's what my year looks like.
Yep.
I don't just wake up every day and go, ooh, 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 monkey need banana. For the day.
I've seen you do that not only on that, I know you for a decade now. I've seen you put your mind on paper many times in many ways. Whether it's just a blank piece of paper and markers, or it's a fancy Mont Blanc and some writing. I've seen you put your mind on paper, and as a sales guy, as a productive guy, this is a crucial skill. So if you're going to share those, please share them. But more importantly, I think it's important to point out, and one of the skills that Oren Klaff has, which is Oren Klaff has this ability to separate from his mental model, right? You put it out on paper, so now you have distance between you objectively towards what you're looking at. Because in your mind, my mind, it could be pretty fuzzy.
Yeah.
In fact, it is.
Fuzzy good.
Yeah, fuzzy good.
Yeah.
Consider 30 deals at the same time, and consider 6 follow-ups per each deal. That's 180 follow-ups within 4 or 5 days, because that's how we roll. We roll by days. We don't follow up in a month. By the time you follow up in a month, the deal is gone. You follow up in days, and you follow up multiple times, and you follow up with multiple deals. You must separate this maze of follow-up from what's going on in your mind, or else you're gonna miss a deal.
And I think the reason I use paper, and maybe you're different, but once this stuff just goes into a CRM, it's gone from visibility, it's gone from touch, and then it's in the machine. Sure, the machine is hopefully built to track, but then it pops back up. But you don't have any context.
The machine is not for you. The machine is not for the sales guy. Sales guys are asked to put it in as data entry, but it's for the organization. It's for the bean counters. But as a sales guy, that is not for you. So just think about the 50,000 pictures that you have in your phone. They're buried there. So that is not for you. As a sales guy, you have to have it on papers. It has to be in front of your face. The deal of now, because the deal of yesterday is buried in a CRM. And if it pops out, it's a nice to have system that reminds you of following up, but you haven't followed up.
I agree. These CRMs are pretty toxic to the high performance. Look, I'm telling you, like, I work with guys who make $40 million a year. Right, and they're not sitting there in Salesforce typing stuff. It's all on their phone. It's on their phone. It's on a piece of paper. It's in a notebook.
Black book.
Yeah.
This is the combo I've seen. Also, this popular digital Remarkable or your iPad, and you write it in. Bullshit. Not for those guys.
No.
Probably good for a lot of things, but the typical big producer, I've seen 3 items. One of them, you carry them consistently all the time, which is the Bluetooth. What is it? Blue Parrot?
Blue Parrot.
Blue Parrot. The truckers use that, and so does the best sales guy. One of those, black book, right, which is pen and paper and black book and notes, and your phone.
Yeah.
You can be anywhere. It doesn't matter. In a hotel, in a car, in this office, 10,000 square feet, anywhere, you are a productive guy, because your mind, it operates between those 3 things.
Internet marketer, click this link. Deal maker, text me. True story.
Yep. Yeah.
How am I going to close a $5 million ticket? Click this link. Put this in. No, text me.
Yeah. Text my cell number.
Text my cell, and then here's the DocuSign.
Not some computer number.
Okay, so let's put a pin in this one, right? Because we hit some really important stuff, and we are going to hit in the next podcast, which I really want you to attend. The absence of social pressure is probably the most difficult. We'll see you here next time.